Anohana, the flower we saw that day, is a series that stands on top of the mountain of melodrama. With a score of 8.57 on my anime list, and being rated as the 37th most popular anime, to call Anohana a cult classic is a bit of an understatement. Regarded as a top-tier emotional drama that brought many of its viewers to tears, including myself, Anohana, although produced in 2011, is already cemented in anime history. In the first week of its DVD release, it was the third highest selling after Madoka Magica and K-On!, two of my personal favorites. But what makes this show loved by so many? How is just an 11-episode series so popular? And what made it able to reach the hearts of so many within the anime community? Anohana is a show about a group of friends who lose somebody close to them at a very young age, and how this loss, along with grief, guilt, and pain that come with such a tragedy, affect their life and the respective group dynamic between one another. With the appearance of Minma's ghost constantly looming over Jintan, he seeks help from his old friends to grant her unknown wish and allow her to rest peacefully. But as Jintan soon finds out, his friends are not the same that they were in the past, and bringing up the death of Minma tears open old wounds that haven't fully healed. The series starts with the main character Jintan alone and isolated with a shirt that all but subtly reads Hikikomori in kanji. He then resentfully protests the couple he hears walking by outside. This foreshadows the fact that he may not have always been this way. Then Minma appears, causing him to say this summer's beast is amazingly cruel, meaning Minma isn't really there and she's likely part of something he doesn't want to remember. This resonated with me on a personal level because everyone has things they wish they could forget, whether it be a loss of a loved one, something horrible they did or saw, or just something that plain embarrassed you for a while. Everyone can relate to it on some scale. People would rather forget than deal with the problems head on. And just like in Anohana, it usually causes problems later on down the road. The fact that Jintan is referred to as a fearless leader to being known as a hikikomori in the present is an example of how the weight of the memories and the loss of his friend have affected his personality and shaped him into the polar opposite of what he once was. This shows that the memories he longs to forget have shaped him in ways no one could have ever thought possible. The girl who loved him and who's in the same class as him can't even bear to look at him. The characters in Anohana post Minma's death are all noticeably different and have a trait that's the polar opposite to that which they had during the time she was alive. Due to this, the bonds of friendship are broken, making the once close group completely estranged from one another. Another issue the show deals with as its overarching theme is that of loss and how people deal with it. From the opening to the ending and everywhere in between, the episodes are littered with flowers known as forget-me-nots. This symbolizes although Minma is dead, she's not forgotten amongst her friends. However, the characters deal with loss in different ways that aren't necessarily healthy, from being a recluse, making fake new friends, traveling the world, and trying to be better than someone else just to prove a point. This group had immediately drifted apart after the loss, and it changed how they interacted with each other. Minma's family is also a great example when it comes to dealing with loss, from her father who acts as though it's completely in the past, to her mother who is desperately clinging to her memory. This is a message that the anime conveys well. The fact that everyone deals with loss differently, and how it's a vulnerable time for those involved. But it sometimes takes being pushed out of your comfort zone for these issues to be resolved and allow us to start moving forward. This is shown perfectly when the group starts getting together again. Although they are just playing old games, their bonds are doing some healing, and they take solace in being in one another's company. It takes several fights and the clashing of ideals for these issues to be resolved, but it's through these battles that the friends are able to move on. What I took away from Anohana personally, as someone who watched the show at a pivotal point in my life, where like Jintan I had a lot of resentment and would rather forget things, or think my life had already had its best days behind it, is that it's always possible to move on, and that change is not only necessary, but vital to do so. I also realized that although it's best to move on, It doesn't mean you have to forget, it just means that the memories you have don't have to cripple you any longer. The characters never forget about Mainma, but instead come to terms with the past and the issues surrounding her death. Overall, I rate this anime a 10 out of 10 because the way the characters are portrayed and grow throughout the short series is incredible, along with the fact that the art style is able to capture all the emotions within a scene. I thoroughly enjoyed Anohana and hope you'll check it out if you haven't already. If you have, let me know what you thought in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.